let's turn that on. Okay, so I'm going to have to upload this in two parts. This is the second part. The first part had to be cut off because of a phone call, so this is the second part to the Managing IT lecture if you're watching it online. So nothing's happened, it's just changed a bit. Is it displaying, Ken? Cool, I'm back on it. Okay, right. Full screen, cool. Without any further interruptions, hopefully, we can get finished. Right, so. Okay, so the second era of the generations moving through IT, we see basically computers being used in more business information system context, okay? Management, standardizing programming languages and early database technology, you know, when you develop a new technology, it's important to make standards for it and see, you know, get the fundamentals out of the way, and that's what they were doing. Consolidation of control and processing data. What are the key issues in sort of this time? Well, money, really, rising costs and people needing more functionality from computers and not really having the time, effort, resources, money to meet those demands, you know? So one of the things that, sorry, this chair keeps going up and down. One of the things that we were running into is that essentially we couldn't meet the demand or the cost back then, okay? Third era, the microcomputer emerges, and this is the game changer, okay? The mini computer, sorry. We have increased demands, okay? So we make computers smaller. We focus on effective and efficient, okay? And we see that, you know, we have things like externally developed software packages. When we have private companies working for us, you know, IBM dominated the market for so long, but externally developed software is what we saw in the third era. IT organization management in an advisory service-oriented role, and IT as a source of competitive advantage in the marketplace. Any organization that could adopt IT would give themselves the benefit and the advantage of the technology that's brought along with it. And we sort of see sort of mid-range computers, more user-friendly, commercial applications and user-driven applications, okay, stuff that, you know, as more people are starting to use IT, as more people are starting to use IT, Dean, come on. Again, as more people are starting to use IT, we see that we're trying to make applications easier to use. We're trying to focus the experience around what the user wants, okay? And this is the basics of UI, UX design, okay? And we see in a sort of a management context, we build systems development life cycles, okay? Like we see in Agile, okay? And distributed IT development, different departments doing different things for the same task, okay? Yeah, you know, the key issues we see here is the coordination of these centralized services, okay? And businesses working with IT, okay? The fourth era, one you might be more familiar with. So, PC innovation, widely used software. The Wintel standard to move infrastructure forward. Network technologies connected to the legacy systems on current PCs. It's harmonious settings with flexibility and emerging inter-organizational data exchange applications, okay? And towards the end of the fourth era, we saw things like personal computers, laptop computers, local area networks, the internet and extranets. Applications are user-friendly, desktop systems followed by groupware and workflow systems. Systems are user-driven now. Everyone is an IT manager and has project control techniques. The organisation has a federated or free market approach to IT, including centralised, decentralised and outsourced IT operations. Key issues, okay, incompatible systems, different manufacturers competing in the market to make different products, incompatibilities and issues going to rise. Integration difficulties, okay, how do we switch over paper-based systems to IT systems? And Y2K. Does anybody here remember Y2K?
Yeah.
What do you remember about Y2K, Ken?
That the clocks were going to reset themselves to the manufacturer date and time, and then crash the computer.
Yeah, they thought Y2K was going to be an apocalypse, and I think that it caused very little problems. I'd say Y2K maybe caused 0.0001% of the problems that they thought, because most of the systems just rolled over.
Yeah.
The fifth era, okay? This is the dot-com era, contributed greatly after the Netscape IPO, which is the Netscape web browser, and IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. So when they first came out, the business model of the click and mortar integration, N generation, M generation workers, and the new economics of information, which is something that's very relevant to this day. The late area of the fifth era of computing, PDAs, mobile technology, internet as a primary platform, okay? No, we're seeing less organizational infrastructure and more cloud-based infrastructure. As far as applications go, we have things like electronic commerce systems, think Shopify, eBay, Amazon. We're seeing the internet as a medium for business now. The management is more about professionalism and team skills. Organizations, we're downsizing corporate IT and more integrating it into sort of our operations. So corporate IT is more outsourced, I guess you could say these days, in my opinion. I mean, we outsource our email to Microsoft. We outsource our file storage to OneDrive, Microsoft. So really, less corporate IT here and more of it elsewhere. So outsourced computing. What are the key issues of the late fifth era? Embracing new and old models of IT management. Just because a model is new doesn't mean it will necessarily fit our organization better. We're enabled by information technology, but just because you're enabled to do something doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be better at doing it. It just means that you can do whatever you were doing faster. If you're, IT will only make you as fast as your team already is. Okay. So, what's the transformation been advantage-wise? From transaction processing to business relationship exploration, to IS scalability, to IS mobility and agility, from alignment with business strategy to reach beyond the traditional business scopes. Again, your business that might have been locally based, say, Ken, you started a shoe company, you sell local shoes. The scope of your business changes with IT infrastructure because it allows you to reach a wider scope of customers, of different markets. Okay, and this is all enabled by the IT advantage transformation. We see things like centralization, decentralization. Decentralization might be a peer-to-peer network. It might be cryptocurrency. It might be anything that works on a decentralized infrastructure. Okay, less about one place, more about everywhere. Total businesses approach around IT, insourcing and outsourcing, the make or buy decision. Okay, very important one for businesses. Top management engagement and active participation. How project management changed? Well, it comes with shifts in business needs, rapid everything and virtual many things, the object-oriented programming project, trust and innovation rather than control, action risk assessment more than system analysis. This is the standard betting and selection, and up-to-minute clarity of information, which we all appreciate now. User transformation. We've seen things transfer in the way of ownership and responsibilities around personal data has been a big one. Team motivators. Distance doesn't matter. With remote work, it really doesn't matter where we're working from. Time zones could play into that, maybe, possibly. Centralised and decentralised working is another big one. Abnormal working hours. Again, productivity knows no set schedule. But there are increased risks like security, HSE, and personal. Okay. So, IT today. It encompasses things like psychology, HSE, creativity, communication, physics, maths, engineering, science, and economics in one way or another. And a bit of extended reading there. And some referred papers. That's it. Any questions? Okay. That is a wrap.